Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this message. I'm Erica. I am a psychic medium and a priestess. So nice to meet you. We have a lot of new people that have been joining the soul family. So welcome in, my loves. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Those of you guys returning, welcome back. Okay. I have no idea. I have no idea what this reading is gonna be, because I just have so many messages coming through that it's like one of those moments where I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So let's just start. Let's just see. So you guys have already seen the title, so you guys kind of have an idea, but I just have no idea. So I'm gonna start off with one of my newest deck, which is called Tarot of the Pyramids. I got it on Amazon. It turned out to be one of the most incredible decks like I've ever purchased. I knew it was going to be incredible, but it was like one of the ones, you know, where if you've ever purchased decks, you know, like where they only show like one or two images, like they don't show like the full deck of cards, like so you get like a feel and an idea of it, you know, so you really have to go off of your intuition. And that's all I do with cards or with decks, or when I make my own personal decks, you know, like when I write them out and stuff, it's all highly intuitive. It's all like what feels right, what's calling to me, what feels like, you know, we're meant to work together kind of a thing. That's a part of the message, actually. A lot of you guys who I'm talking to, like, you work with divination. I keep hearing learning the tarot, learning the tarot, you know. So I'm talking to those of you guys who are teaching yourself the tarot, or you're learning the tarot, or it's a part of like, it's a tool, a divination tool that you know you're meant to use for a higher purpose. And that's what it is, you know. It's, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of readers that they just, you know, they go off of mostly the cards, but then there's readers and, you know, mediums like me where the cards are like, I'm the lead singer and the cards are my backup singer. That's it, you know? And I'm also getting, for some of you guys, like, you know, you have a hard time trusting your intuition and your gifts. That's normal. That's normal. Like, all of us go through those phases and stages where, you know, we're learning discernment, and that's really what it's about. It's, you know, it's not like you start your awakening and you reconnect with your spiritual gifts and you're just like, oh, I know all the things, like just clear as day, black and white. No, it takes a lot of tests of intuitive intuitive discernment, right? It's mastery. It's another form of mastery. And I think that's a big message for a lot of you guys right now, is trust your gifts, trust your intuition. I'm hearing, yep, you're very psychic. You know, we're all souls, you know what I mean? So a soul is psychic. A soul is nonverbal communication, you know what I mean? So we are masters. That's a part of our innate abilities. It's just some people are, you know, just depending on your light work, your gifts, your soul blueprint, you know what I mean? Which, you know, if that's something that you're like, I really want to tune into, I want to learn more about, I want to, like, you know, then that's something I can assist you with through an Akashic record reading. Like, it's literally like a map of your soul, you know? And it reveals so much of who you really are on that core soul divine level, you know what I mean? But also just tuning in, and really, because, okay, so maybe this is a message that's going to start out with like, you know, Erica, okay, so I just, you know, if you are new here, like, this is how I channel. So I'm picking up, like, you guys, like, watching this, you know, whoever's tuning in, and you're like, yeah, Erica, like, I feel like, you know I'm powerful. Like, I know I hold magic within. I know I'm so gifted, but I'm struggling, or I don't trust it, or, you know, or I'm scared because I feel like it's time for me to really put myself out there and really dive into my spiritual work. And I'm fearful, I'm scared. There's a lot of fear coming up around like what it's coming out of the spiritual closet. You know what I mean? Like when I had to come out of the psychic closet, it was like scary. It was really scary. Cause I already knew, I already saw, you know, if you're very psychic, you can see these things, you know, or, you know, you feel them, or, you know, whatever it is, whether it's a vision or a feeling, or, you know what I mean? But I already knew that it was going to be crazy, because I knew that people were going to be confused. They weren't going to understand. I mean, I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friends, people who've known me for a really long time. Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, she's psychic. She's a tarot reader. She's got a YouTube channel. She's lost her mind. The devil got a hold of her. She's being possessed. You guys, I heard it all. And I heard it all from people who I thought were friends, or people who, you know what I mean? And when I came out and stood in my power authentically, oh, was it triggering to so many people? Because I stepped out of the box that they had me wrapped in. Okay, so hit the like button, like leave a comment. How does that part resonate with you? Because I know it resonates on some level with all of you guys tuning in. Like, you know, whether it's just I feel different from my awakening and the people around me are reacting to that. And it's scary because I feel like I'm losing people. I feel like I'm not, you know, no one gets me. I don't have anyone to talk to. Which, you know, if that is you also, like if you really feel that way, I offer a vent sesh. Like I offer a 20-minute vent sesh where it's just, I just need to share. I just need to talk. I need to, you know, maybe ask questions. Maybe ask me questions. You know, it's not a reading, but it's like, you know, because that's a lot of people when you go through an awakening, like it's isolating. It's like the number one thing. It's isolating. It's meant to be isolating, but it could also be very like, I feel like I'm going crazy because I don't, you know, this is all internalized, you know? So yeah, you're very gifted. Yeah, you have bright ideas. I'm being shown the sun, the solar plexus chakra. This is all very psychic. The solar plexus chakra is a very, very psychic center. Very psychic center. I'm talking to psychics. I'm talking to mediums. A lot of you guys tuning in, you actually are like mediums where it's mediumship for you. Like your strongest gift is actually communing with the spiritual realm. Like loved ones on the other side. I'm hearing like grief counselor. So a part of maybe some of your soul work here is to, you know, maybe you've lost someone very close to you. You know, in my family, I lost my baby brother, you know, 9 years ago. He was 23. Unexpected car accident, the most horrible thing that you could ever go through. And it's one of those things that really, you can sympathize and you can feel for others, you know, like that are going through it, but you just don't know until it literally happens to you. You just don't know. You just can't, you can't explain it. And that's also like the awakening journey, you know, which a lot of people don't talk about the darkness of it. Okay, so that's who I'm talking to today. I'm talking to those of you guys where you're really stepping into your power. Like you're really feeling it come online. You feel the internal shifts within you. You know you've changed. But at the same time, with this certain feeling of readiness to move forward in this new timeline, this level that you're in, this, we're going to call it a glow up, a level up, because that's what it is. That's what it is. And the more that we rise, the more the things around us fall away and you know, disappear. The more our frequency and vibration rises, yeah, we attract more of our soul family, but we lose a lot of the structure and the foundation and the people that we thought were our people. a lot of people feel lonely because they're like, what the heck? Like, I feel like I'm doing all this work. You know, I feel like I'm doing the right things. I feel like I'm healing. I feel like I'm, you know, I've been single or celibate and I'm protecting my energy and I'm doing all these things. In fact, one of my clients earlier said this too. And I see this all the time, where people are like, you know, I'm doing the work, but I've risen my vibration, but like literally no one approaches me, no one talks to me, no one hits on me, no one like tries to, okay, like let me tell you something. That's the way it's supposed to be, because you're not like everyone else anymore. You don't vibrate in those frequencies and those timelines that they are still on or will be stuck in. You've ascended beyond all that. So if you're not getting hit on, if people are like afraid to approach you, take it as a freaking confirmation and a compliment that you are now this, you're embodying more of your ascended self, your higher self. And the majority of souls walking the earth right now, the planet, you know, I don't know, I'm going to guesstimate, let's just say, let's just be even generous. Let's say that there's about 20 million people on the planet who are like me and you, where they're very awoken, they see it all. Okay, we'll say that 20 million people. There's 8 billion people in the world. Even if it's 100 million awoken souls, that's 100 million versus 8 billion souls. You are not like the rest, honey. You are not like the rest. You used to be. Even though everyone is divinely unique and special and all these things, right? You know what I mean. We used to be in the box, in the ticky-tacky cookie cutter box of conformity. But we've broken out of that illusion of conformity. It's an illusion to conform or else. You know, like when the pandemic hit, that was crazy, because it was like, you need to wear a mask, otherwise you can't come in. I mean, people got aggressive, people got mean, people got crazy. They lost their minds trying to enforce the mask. And I was one of those where it was like, you're not putting a mask on my face. I don't care where I'm at. What, you know what I mean? I'm not putting a mask on. I remember one time, like my mom, like it was like they were going to Costco, and at this time it wasn't a mandate. Like it wasn't, you know, it's not a law, right? So they were trying to enforce it, but like my parents were the same way as me, and they were like, you can't make, you know, a lot of people are like that, like you can't make us. And it was like my mom and like the Costco lady at the front, just like, I mean, the Costco lady got like hella mean. Like she wanted to like, you know what I mean? I remember that. My mom was like, she got crazy. We'll see more of that again. And that's why you, mi amor, you're like going through all this like hardcore soul training and preparation and initiations. Again, it's because you're not like the rest. Energetically, everyone is being affected by the global awakening. Yes. But most people are like, they don't know what's happening. There's a lot of fear, and you know, so you're the way shower, you're the light through the dark. And we haven't seen anything yet, if we're being honest. I'm a prophetess. Part of my gifts, my strongest gifts, is prophecy, is seeing way into the future, years into the future. Everything that's happening right now, like the crazy natural disaster, they're not natural. The natural disasters that that the government has created, the crazy tornadoes and the fires and but it's like Mother Earth is fighting back. The volcanoes are now erupting. Like there is the disruption has created eruption, right? And I saw all of that like 2+ years ago happening now in these timelines, and they're happening now. I'm not saying that to brag and be like, oh, I'm the great, you know. I don't care about any of that, you know. I'm amazing with what I do and how I tune in, you know, and I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. I don't need to. My point is that I'm talking to people like you are like that too. You see things before they happen. whether it's a global event or something with someone you know, or your own life. I just keep hearing like you're extremely gifted, you're extremely gifted, you're extremely talented. But, you know, through your life experiences, maybe the way you were raised, maybe your parents, maybe just experiences and past lives, and, you know, there's a great amount of unworthiness. Like, that's what I'm tuning into very strongly. It's like, that's why Spirit's like, you are like this spiritual baddie. I know there's a lot of people out there right now that think they're spiritual baddies. They think they are the shit. And you always know that those are the ones who are like, they've done the least amount of work. They're the most in the distorted ego, because they will act as if and speak like that too. Like, you know, oh, I'm so psychic. Oh, it's like, mine must be psychic or something, you know? Like a true priestess. And I've been guilty of that too, you guys, years ago. Like when 4 years ago when I first started my YouTube channel, I was still a baby. Like I was still, you know, I was like 5, 6 years or something, 5 years or something like that. 5 years into my awakening, 4 years into my awakening. But like, you know, I thought I was you know? Man, have I been humbled since then. You know, but I've said things like that before. I've said things like that before a long time ago, you know, like, whoa, like I must be psychic or something, you know, joking, but like still like it was an egoic statement. And that's what I was doing, was I was trying to like say something like, oh yeah, see how psychic I am? I'm so psychic. You know, and since then, my layers that I've peeled, and the humbleness and the humility and the healing of my distorted ego, like it's like, you don't need, if you're like, your power will speak for itself, basically. And you are powerful. Everything I'm saying here is about you. I might be referencing me, my experiences or testimony, whatever, but it's to use as a divine reflection and mirror for you. Your ancestors are also pissed about something. They're pissed. Hold on. What is that about? Okay, so see, I love this. I just love channeling. Like, you know, and when we say channel, it's just like my channels are open. I don't know what I'm going to get, who I'm going to get it from, meaning like, not like darkness. I mean, I don't know who I'm going to get from, like my archangels or Goddess Isis, which Goddess Isis is she's very here in this message. And, you know, yes, we have Lionsgate coming up, and yes, we are doing a Lionsgate portal workshop, okay? If you're new here and you don't know what these workshops are, okay, so I started doing these workshops like 2 years ago, and I only do them when I'm divinely called on certain portal dates of, you know, the months. So like we just did one for 7/7, and that one was with Isis and Osiris, and that one we astral traveled to ancient Egypt, and we went into one of her temples, and then, you know, she took you out into the Nile River, and it was like this whole like blessing and purification and like all these things that like happen, you know what I mean? And but these are experiences. They're not a meditation. They're not like just some transmission, like where, you know, they are a full-on immersive experience, where and the whole time I am channeling her, Isis or Sekhmet or Mary Magdalene or Yeshua or Archangel Michael or whoever we're working with in the particular workshop. So this one for Lionsgate, this is the first workshop we're ever doing where we're actually leaving the Earth grid. So this one, we are actually going to the Sirius star. This Lionsgate portal, it is all about the Sirius star in ancient Egypt, the pyramids, etc., right? So perfect alignment is what it is. You know, it happens every year. And that's also what I'm seeing here with this Lionsgate portal. It's like, it's bringing you, who's watching this, into perfect alignment. The first card out here, speaking of Egypt, so this is the new deck, the tarot of the pyramids, but it's like an oracle tarot, you know what I mean? So it's got like the major arcanas, but then it's got like a bunch of stuff in here, like, you know, renewal, patience and trust. Like, it's got all these beautiful energies and messages in here. So I highly recommend. It was like 35 bucks, worth every penny. I would have paid 100 for this deck. But anyway, so we're astral traveling to Sirius star, and we're going to be at Sirius Star B, which is the water planet, which is like where it's like where it's like where it all originated from, you know what I mean? And like many of you resonate as Syrian starseeds, or you've had lifetimes there or experiences there. But like Goddess Isis, Mother Mary, like they're from Sirius Star, you know, from Sirius. So Yeshua, like, so anyways, let's go back. The quest for truth. You've been on a quest for truth. That's what awakening is. It's literally a quest of truth, divine truth. Truth of yourself, truth of the world, truth of, you know, your heart, truth of your past lives. It's a lot of awakening to truth and awakening to the illusion of false truth, what's real and what's not. Some of you guys might be actually having a hard time discerning that right now, where you're like, I feel like I'm kind of losing it, and maybe you're afraid to say something because you're afraid you're going to get 5150'd. Okay? Careful if you live in Florida. They got the Florida shuffle down there. They'll shuffle you from crazy clinic to crazy clinic, even though you don't need to be there. Your quest for truth is done. That's what I'm hearing. Not that you're like, you know, not that your journey is done, but your quest for truth, meaning you have found the answers to some things that you have needed the answers to. You now see the truth of yourself. You see the truth of like why you're here. You don't have to stress about my soul purpose and what are my strongest gifts and what am I here to do. Like all of that stuff unfolds and opens for you very naturally. It's shown to you very naturally. And it's usually just stuff that you're already good at and you enjoy, or things that you've always felt in your heart. I've always wanted to teach people. I always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to, you know, be a massage therapist or to be some kind of a healer, you know, hands-on healing. That's why I became a doctor or a nurse, or, you know, it's things like that. Or maybe it's just like I always felt like I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how. You're here to help. I'm hearing, and you're here to get rich doing it. I don't know who started the nasty rumor that being spiritual and using your spiritual gifts as energetic and for energetic exchange with money. I don't know who started the rumor that that was taboo or not right, or we shouldn't be doing that. That is, you should absolutely be charging for like my services and what I do and my gifts. I should be charging more money than I do. Most people do. Like sister priestesses of mine and stuff like that, for like an Akashic session, their Akashic sessions are like $350. Mine are $222. You know, or a 1 hour reading is like $222 or $250. You know, mine are $177. But you know what I mean? I'm not comparing apples to oranges. Like, you know, but my point is that absolutely, yes, we live in a 3D material world. And as this false matrix collapses, we still have to live in it. And this is what we came here to do. We're not like everyone else where we're supposed to be in like a normal 9-to-5 job. Maybe we are for some part of our journey or for a certain amount of years or time. But at the end of the day, like let's say you're like 60 years old and you're looking back on your life. No. Were you like supposed to retire from corporate America? No. I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I'm telling you, we are the way showers, not just, we're the way shower. We show people the way of, you don't gotta be under the thumb of this anymore. You don't have to work under the corporate structure anymore. You don't have to, right? We show them through our own embodiment. You have a lot of questions, and spirit is like, the answer is the truth. That you're looking for, that you're seeking, it's in you. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it is the God's honest truth. It's all inside of you. What am I here to do? Go in your heart, meditate, connect, ask for signs and messages and synchronicities around it. You're not alone. You got a whole spiritual friggin' army. Some of you guys are wondering if you're going to have children, and the answer is yes. Even if you were told that you're infertile, I've seen it happen so many times where like people come into a divine union and alignment like that, and they weren't able to have kids before with other people, and the doctors told them there's no way, etc. And then they come into a divine alignment and union and they get pregnant. There's something big about fertility. You may be adopting, or that could also be a part of your light work here, is saving the children. Essentially, that's like, you know, we're all here to help humanity and to save humanity, etc. But everyone's got very different roles that they play and many different hats that we will wear throughout our journey, right? Like, I'm not just, like, at first it started out as like a YouTube channel and doing tarot readings. And then then my gifts opened up more, and then it was like, you can tap into the Akashic records and read for the Akash for people. That was the next thing, you know? And then I started getting guidance on like intuitive energetic healing. Then my light language activated, came back through. So I do light language healing. Like, it's in layers. You don't just get it all at once. Even my psychic energy, my gifts that are so strong. That's for me my strongest gift, is being a seer, is a psychic and an oracle. And being able to literally see and predict things before they happen, to help. It's always for the highest and greatest good. People will often ask stupid things like, you know, like moronic people, you know, they've asked stupid things before, like, well, if you're really psychic, then why don't you do, you know, then how come you're not a millionaire? How come you don't know the you know, the lotto numbers? How come you don't predict like the Super Bowl or you know, like, because I'm not a freaking gambler, and I'm not, you know, like, no offense to anyone who does that, I don't care what you do, but to me, like, no, I'm not a gambler, I'm not, you know, and I'm not a liar, and I'm not greedy, and I'm not a cheat, and I'm not a scammer. That's why I have these gifts and you don't. It is like that, because people who, like, do you see? And I can't even tell you how many times stupid people have asked me that question about the lotto, or about like, oh, well, how come you don't know like when a team's gonna win? You should make bets on all the, I don't know. That's called abusing your power. That's called abusing your gifts. And that is bad karma. Bad karma. You wanna bring some real negative experiences on you and your lineage and your family, then do stuff like that. Abuse your power, abuse your gifts. And there's people out there that are readers and they have channels and they do that kind of stuff. They abuse, you know? So it's like, you know, I attract, and this isn't going to be for everyone because that's just not the case. That's impossible. But I attract a lot of the souls who are like ancient. We are masterful. We don't trip up on the things that everyone else gets all up in knots about and gets their panties up in a bunch about, you know, like regular humans. My whole life I've witnessed this. People with tempers, people who fly off the handle. They go from 0 to 60 like that. Like a bomb that's been just ticking, waiting to go off. Something to set it off. I've witnessed people like they can't handle pressure, they can't handle emergencies, they can't, you know, and for me, I'm the type where I am extremely calm during these things. They say people who can. I mean, yeah, for one, it's because of my soul's experience. I don't trip over the stuff other people trip off of, and I'm able to maintain composure when other people can't. Now, they do say that like people who are like that, like me, that it's because of, you know, being around environments where, you know, you had to keep your composure even through the chaos. And that's true. That's true. But it's deeper than that. It's because I'm such an ancient soul that I can see beyond what most people can see, you know? Like, even if someone, like someone trying to like prove their point to me, like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather be happy than right. But that's how most people operate, right? They're in the ego. They're like, they gotta be right. They gotta prove a point. They gotta have the last word. They gotta, you know, it's like that. It's such a like freaky control thing. But souls like us, we're not like that. And in fact, we bring soothing, calming energy to the chaos. which is why so many people gravitate to us, especially when they're going through a hard time, or you know what I mean? It's because we are that outlet. They can feel it. And that's why we are the new earth ascended masters and leaders, because that's why. Because we can hold it down. When everything around us is chaos and falling down and collapsing, you know, we can breathe through the tension, through the fire. And we can soothe other souls along the way, and we can help them do the same, which is exactly the roles that we're going to be stepping into more and more and more over the next few years and moving forward. The quest for truth. You also help other people find truth. Other souls who are on a quest for truth, you help them. And I know this isn't a reading where I'm like pulling all kinds of cards. Again, the cards are just my backup singers. You know, I'm the lead singer. They're the backup singers. Death. So you have card number 42, and then card number 13, we have Anubis. Anubis is like the god of death. You know, ancient Egyptian god of death. Like basically like when a soul crosses over, transitions from the physical realm back into the 5D, the spiritual realm, Anubis is there to greet them, and he basically takes account of your life. Like, and it's basically like the justice scales, you know, like was there more bad or good, or you know, he does like a review. Like that's like the ancient Egyptians, you know what I mean? But yeah, like when we pass over, we have a life review. Absolutely. Yep. There is a little process of moving to the other side after we transition. So maybe someday I'll do like on my new YouTube channel, when I start I'll be talking a lot about stuff like that. It's gonna be all very spiritual. But anyways, this is like death and rebirth. Like you can handle like again, like you can keep your cool, but also like it's people who are on a quest about the answers. Why am I here? You know, like is there a God? Like what's the deal with religion? You're someone here who's meant to bring the rebirth. You're meant to witness the death of the false earth, the false grids, you know, the false matrix. Like you're here to put a death to that, to be one of the warriors who stands strong and helps the rest of the children, collective, adults, humanity see the quest for truth and find that truth. You're here to be a part of the death and rebirth. I keep hearing because you're a master of death. What that means is like for a lot of you guys, like I just said, it doesn't freak you out. You know? There's a lot of people like that. You know, they become like, you know, coroners or homicide detectives or, you know, law enforcement, you know what I mean? Like where they could see like death on the job. Owning a funeral parlor, being a mortician, being a death doula. And that's what I think a lot of you guys, like I think that's past life stuff where you have been a death doula. Not just a birth doula. Not just birth doulas were just bringing life in. You helped and assisted life transition out. You may even have a connection with Anubis or work with Anubis. I'm also getting Nefertiti. Could have connections with Nefertiti. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. Death, quest for truth, and the Lovers. Followed by the Devil. This is Kingdom Spouse. This is like, you know, this is your beloved. This is your beloved. This is lovers meeting, lovers uniting. It's a divine partnership I'm hearing that you're ready for. And not everyone who's watching this is going to be ready in this moment. It might be 2 months from now for you, you know? But you're ready. For who this is for, you're ready. But also what's crazy is after the Lovers is the Devil. Demons and devilish energies, they have tried to stop you and infiltrate you and block you. They've latched on to ex-lovers and partners of yours, and they've worked. So like if you feel like, yeah, look, the Hermit, it was like dark magicians. like they were in hiding, you know what I mean? Cloaked, they were in cloaks, they were cloaked and hiding in the dark, trying to snuff out your light. There's something about that, and I think this ties into past lives, like generational curses. I actually just did a reading like last week about that. Like how, like some of you guys, you broke a black magic curse that was intentionally placed on your bloodline, your lineage, for like thousands. It was like an ancient curse. That same energy is showing up here, like an ancient energy, but it also just feels like whatever energies are doing this or were doing this, it's like they were trying to block you from divine love. You can't come into a true divine soul union with another soul unless you yourself are the lovers. You're on your own. Meaning your inner feminine and masculine has balanced. You are like in love with yourself, you're in love with life, you're happy. You know what I mean? Like there's a solid, stable energy with you. You know, you're not like all over the place, unhappy, like I don't know who I am, I don't know what my future holds. Like, you know, all of that stuff is good. It's not bad to be there, but it's, you know, but that's what helps you create the stability, etc., needed to get into this place. But that's what I'm seeing. It was like ancient lovers. This ancient love being attacked by demonic forces. That's what it is. Because you know what? Because you guys bring judgment. You guys bring judgment. That's what, so they knew that if you rose and if you come into union with your beloved counterpart, they knew that they would, it was a threat to them. They knew that you and this lover of yours, this beloved, that you guys bring judgment. You bring karmic judgment. You bring judgment down upon these evil forces, these dark lords and magicians and, you know, warlocks and witches and dark priestesses, etc. That, you know, they worship a dark energy. They do everything out of manipulation and to control and, you know, for clout, for riches, for fame, for, you know, notoriety. That's why they do stuff. And if you're someone where you're just naturally like that and it's a part of your soul destiny and things like that, then yeah, they will try to stop you. So that's what I'm seeing. But it's not, tell me more about what I'm getting here about this like curse on divine union, divine lovers coming together. It's not like, it's basically like, it's just like, we don't want you ever to be in a divine union, because if you do come into divine union, it'll be a major threat because of the love and the light and just everything that you know, will be anchoring and emitting. Tell me of the lovers here. Imperfection and healing. Simplicity. When you broke the devil curses on your own self and your own lineage and, you know, your karma, basically, through your healing and learning to love what you consider to be imperfections, etc., through your healing and also healing imperfections, you broke the dark, you know, the dark curse. I'm seeing cockroaches scattering, like the light just turned on and all the cockroaches are running and scattering. Yeah. So it's not like a threat or anything like that, but it's because, you know, you were in a lower vibration and so was this other person, and, you know, it was easy for these darker energies to infiltrate other people, to come into your lives, to date and to, you know, have sexual encounters with, etc. And that was how they hooked. That's how they latched on. And you know what I mean? Okay. But the tower hit them. Yeah, because your inner strength is unmatched. And you're highly protected. Your inner strength. And look at the inner child. Like you're so, you know what I mean? For me, this also speaks of your family and your children. You know, if your parents are like, or future parents, just know that your children are safe and protected, very safe and protected. Your inner child is really driving your life right now, helping you to be brave, helping you to find that inner strength that you need to, like I said in the beginning, conquer fear, to step more into your soul purpose or your gifts, to, you know, another thing that I'm seeing is like, you know, like it's like calling yourself the emperor or the empress, a very high frequency, yet you spiritual bypass, yet you dim your light around certain people. You know, maybe at work around your coworkers or your boss. Maybe your boss is super Catholic or super religious, and people at work are very religious, or some of them are religious and you're not. You know, but you don't say anything, or when they say things, you dim, or you like, you know, you just bite your tongue, you know, stuff like that, when you should be speaking truth. Now, I mean, always use your discernment, of course. Like, I'm not saying go like balls to the wall and like, you know, you guys are crazy, and, you know, religion is a cult, and then it's meant for control. And do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't advise that, but we're not meant to dim our truth. Like, you're either in your power or you're not in your power. There's no in between. It's either this is who I really am, or not. It's like that. So spirit right now, they're like, it's time for you to proclaim all of it. Yeah, I'm a witch. Yeah, I'm a healer. Yeah, I'm a priestess. And what? And who cares? What does it matter to you? What I do, who I am, what I do for work. It's not an easy place to be, because we are so conditioned to care about other people's judgments and ridicule and opinions. I told you there's motherhood here. There's definitely children, of babies, spirit babies around you. There's all kinds of new life blossoming and blooming. So this is, the lotus represents coming out of the darkness into the light and coming to life, blooming and blossoming. So that is where you're at right now. I know that the prominent energy in this deck is like ancient Egyptian energy, Egypt, you know, stuff like that. But honestly, like for those of you guys tuning in, you've had a lot of happy times in ancient Egypt in lifetimes, and you've also known a lot of trauma in ancient Egypt. Because what I'm seeing is fragmented pieces of the soul and the self that were left there. They were left there. Many, many, many years ago, thousands of years ago. Soul retrieval work is what you need to do. You know, it's bringing back, calling back the fragmented pieces of self, of the soul, that are stuck in trauma loops from past lives, timelines, you know. That's a part of what I do in my intuitive energy sessions, my healing sessions, or also Akashic readings. Like there's trauma that will come up, or things that come up, you know. And so it's a point where you can, it's a gate, it's a doorway where you can open it and go, oh my God, this is why, this makes so much sense. Every time I do like an Akashic reading, I like just yesterday I met with someone and did a reading, and he was like, oh my God, like the whole time he was like, that's crazy, you know. And he's a twin flame divine masculine, who's actually in union with his feminine. So, you know, like when I say I see things from the larger scale and I get to see a lot of the whole and the, you know, that's what I mean. You know, I don't just speak from a place of Erica in my opinion, and, you know, I speak from my testimony, and, you know, but also from what literally what I have seen and worked with on a daily for the last 4 years. But the whole time it's like that. It's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. That's crazy. Holy whoa, like, you know, like even like a little thing, like one little detail from his Akashic reading yesterday, I was like, you're someone where your body thrives on a high protein, low carb diet. And you need to eat a lot of stuff like meat and then like nuts and berries. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, because that's what he's learned through trial, you know, through trial and error, that's the best thing for his body. And his body thrives with that. And also that he loves like, you know, meat, and he loves like grazing boards and nuts and berries. And that's all from the past life that I was channeling and tuning into. But there was so, you know what I mean? Those details that are so powerful. I remember why I was talking about that, but it's not to be like, come book with me, because, you know, I don't need to do that, because I get bookings irregardless, but I'm sharing because I'm talking to so many different people on so many different timelines and levels of their journey. And I know, I can see it, that many of you guys are seeking answers. Now, just like this card says, your quest for truth, you can find it within you. But sometimes we need help, we need assistance, and that's why we're all here, is to walk each other home, to help each other. I might be a psychic and a seer, but my specialty is not body work or massage or, you know, acupuncture or Chinese medicine, which I find fascinating. But is that gonna ever be like, I mean, I don't know, maybe down the road at some point, but is that like a part? No, it's not on my radar. It's not like what I'm here to do. But some of you guys, that's exactly what you're here to do. It's like your most powerful thing to do. And someone like me, I need that. I need someone like you. I need someone like that. You know, the healer needs healers too. The healer becomes the healer through healing self, but the healer needs healers too. And that's why we're all here together, to help each other in that way. And that's what you're here to do, is to help so many souls in that way. Look, healing, exactly. You're on this beautiful golden timeline. See the golden, it's like the yellow brick road, I'm also getting a lot about like mystery schools. So you've been in like, you have been teachers in mystery schools, masters in mystery schools with in Egypt and all over the world, in you know, ancient, in South America, in Japan, or India, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's mystery schools everywhere and all over the world. And, you know, there still are, right? But they're mystery schools, they're hidden, they're not for the all, right? So anyways, my point is that I see you. You're very clearly on this golden path right now. This golden glory is you. There's blooming, blossoming life. Like, there's nothing about like sadness or sorrow or death or, you know, wintry energy. It's just all about like thriving, prosperous, sunshine, warmth, joy, bliss. She's walking in on the path that is her soul path, which is why there's so much beauty all around her. Because when we're in alignment and we're doing our true soul work and we're doing it from the heart, and we're not doing it because we want to, like, you know, we want our ego filled up, fluffed up, puffed up, you know, like, I'm so psychic, come to my channel, which is the best channel in the world. And, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, again, our power speaks for itself through our work, through our energy. But when you're aligned like that, you know, yes, you will go through, you know, periods. It's how energy and cycles work. Seasons of life, just like seasons of nature. It's not always going to be spring, sunshine, summer for you or for me. But you've just come out of the winter, is my point. And now you're like, I'm going to say for the next 6 months to a year of your life, for many of you guys who this is for, you're going to be on this golden road here, okay? And along your golden road, you're going to find so many people, opportunities, gifts, ideas, creations, you know, destinations, travel. Like, there's so much on this beautiful path that you're on, okay? So anyways, you guys, inner freedom. Through your inner freedom, your life is going to be reflecting the outer freedom. Meaning things happening for you, money coming in that allows you to be more free, to have more time, to do your own schedule, to be free to practice, you know, your spiritual practices, it's freedom. However that is for you, it's freedom. So you've been freeing yourself from trauma, from pain, from old wounds, old energy, stuck energy, old emotions. You've been freeing yourself on the inside. And that's not easy, because we live in an open air prison. This is an open air prison that we live on. You know, they call Earth a prison planet. It's not a prison planet per se, but it is in the regards that it's, if you think of it like the open air prison, it is, It's the false matrix. That's the prison. The conformity, the box, the structure, the false matrix grid, and all of the systems and constitutions, and right? That's okay? You've broken free of that, and you're here to show others the same thing. To help others wake up by being an embodiment of what that looks and feels like, you know? We're not here to push opinions or spirituality onto anyone. And if you're doing that, stop it now. Stop. That is not your place. I've seen it so many times where like someone who's like, you know, still in lower consciousness, they might be very religious still, right? Like very like, this is how it is, and you know, Jesus is Lord and Savior, and that's it. And it's like, we know that that's a crock of shit, you know what I mean? But that is literally what they believe and trust in and feel. Someone who's going through an awakening, but who's still very much in their ego, distorted ego, they will be triggered by someone like that or something like that. They might be coming from a good place, but they will project. I've seen it so many times where they start trying to force feed spirituality onto other souls. That makes it no better than, you know, the Jehovah's Witnesses coming and harassing you to your front door. It's the same thing. There's no difference. Spirituality is not something you choose. It can't be chosen like a religion or something you're conditioned into. Spirituality is your soul. You are conscious to your soul. You are conscious, and you can see clearly now that you are a soul in a human body. It is what it is. It just is. It just is. It's not something we choose. It's something that just is. It's not something we can change. It's not something we can quit, like a religion or the church. Oh, I don't like this religion. I'm going to try this one. You know, oh, I was raised in this religion, but I converted to this for my husband or wife. You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's not the same in any regard. But my point is that we're not here to force feed that to people. You know, that's a form of control, that's a form of fear, and that's a form of like being in the distorted ego. We're here to just hold that loving space. We're here to be the healing embodiment. We're here to show others that we are a light in the dark, where if they're interested for the quest of truth, we are there to guide and to lock arms with them and show them. We're here to assist them through their healing. We're here to reflect and to mirror to them what it looks like to have divine inner strength and to stand up for who you are, what you love, what you enjoy, whatever it is. A lot of people don't have that inner strength. It's been conditioned and programmed right out of them. It's not their fault. We've all been there. I was programmed and super asleep. I was the one that got my whole family going to church. I started going to church, Christian church, by myself at night, or at 18 years old. And then finally, I got my mom to go with me a few times, and then she started going more. And then eventually she got my dad to come with us one time, and then, you know, then all of a sudden they started going. And then my brother got into it, you know? Then they all got baptized, but you know what? I'm the one that got them into it. I was never baptized. I refused to get baptized. It never felt right to me. There was a lot of things about the church that never felt right. Obviously, I know why now. But you see what I mean? So it's like, I get it. I understand. Because I was there once too. Very asleep, very much in fear. I thought that God was vengeful and God was angry, and you know, it was a very narcissistic relationship that I had, you know, that I thought God had with humanity. It was narcissism. Abusive. You know, like the religious, like the, you know, like the, it's straight brainwashing. Like it is a straight brainwash. It is like a cult. It is. You know, and most people, like if they start awakening, you know, you see through the truth. And, you know, and some people will still cling to religion, but that's only because the parts of them that are still very, you know, that are still fearful of it, basically, because it brings a form of safety. It's a safety net. Because it's what they know. It's what they know to be true. You know? A lot of people have a lot of fear around their mortality, and religion, church, you know, we go to heaven, you know, I'm saved, my soul is saved. That brings people comfort because they are scared shitless of what happens when you die. Someone like me, like I'm not afraid to die. I'm really not. I used to be. I'm not. Like if something happens, like I wouldn't like just, you know, like because I know that all, you know, I know how it all works. I know that my soul will go. I know, in fact, when I do transition, that I'm going to be like, wee, like, you know, and that it's all good. And there's no such thing as hell, because hell is earth. Not hell is earth, but you know what I mean? Hell is the open air prison that we live in. That's hell. And the karmic loops and the programs that we run on, that's hell. You broke out of hell. I broke out of hell. And we're here to show others how to break out of hell too. The real hell. All right. Mi amores, I know this was a long one, and like, you know, I just, you know, so I mean, we're 56 minutes in. Let's go for 4 more minutes. You know, if you watch this whole thing, then then this is for you, first of all. And I honor you because you're a badass rock star, you know, spiritual baddie, man or woman. You know, it's the people, and a lot of times people will click off. Good, because these messages aren't for them anyways, because they don't have the patience for it, or they can feel deep down that what's going to come through. They'll feel it intuitively, like, oh, this is going to trigger me. I don't want to watch this. And they're right. It is. Because if I'm talking about things that are unhealed in you, it can be triggering. So my point is like, if you're still here, like, you're on the golden road, honey. You're on the golden path. It's always darkest before the dawn. That's what spirit wants you to know. I'm also getting the name like Beth, Bethany. I'm seeing like Doreen, Darla, Doreen, Darlene, those kinds of words. I'm hearing darling. So that could be, I'm hearing a grandma actually, like your grandma might have called you honey or darling, like, hi darling, or darling, you know. I'm also seeing that for some of you guys, there is, you have like a secret admirer. You're not going to have all kinds of people hating on you because people are afraid of you. People are intimidated by your energy. But the ones who do come forward now, that's what I'm seeing, is someone who just thinks like the world of you. Like you're just like the bee's knees, darling. Like you are it, darling. It's like that. It's really cute. You know? I feel for most of you guys, this is a masculine who's highly, highly intrigued and impressed and enchanted by a divine feminine. You have inner desires. It's like an ocean slug. It's like a little ocean snail slug thing. But it's about your inner desires, literally, as I'm talking about like things coming in for you and like this secret admirer. It says set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty. Exactly. The road, the right here. This is plenty. This is your inner desires. This is all of it. This is also spiritual equity, divine equity, meaning what you have racked up in past lives and your ancestors as well. You had to be in the right timeline, on the right path, and in the right vibration to receive these rewards, these gifts from your past lives and ancestry. Set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty, or may have a sudden windfall. And so it is. I claim it. Aho, 888-777. I'm also seeing 222. A sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. Goals are within your grasp, mi amores. Like, you can't make it up. Like, this card and what it says, I freaking love it. That's what I mean. I love my backup dancers. I love my backup singers. Okay? You're diving into new depths. The whales, you could have a deep, speaking of Sirius and the Lionsgate portal, this is exactly where the whales and dolphins and the mer people, etc. came from. Was Sirius B. Some came from like Mintonka and like other places where it's like very like a water planet, or you know, but Sirius B is where we're going for Lionsgate, you guys. Tickets are only $44. It is on Zoom. It will be recorded. A lot of people can't make the live a lot of times, you know, or they prefer like just doing the recorded because they like just doing it on their own. It is a personal experience, even though we go in astral traveling as a group. It's the way it's channeled. It is like, it's your own experience. So it's not like you're going in to the experience and like you're in a temple with like everyone who signed up. You're the only one in the temple with the goddesses or with the angels or the dragons or whoever we're working with. But anyway, so there we go. And so this one, it's going to be powerful with the water, with the whales, with the dolphins, and other beings of Sirius, and the Syrians, of course, the Syrians. So anyway, so you are diving into new depths in your life. This is, it's as our vibration rises, the deeper we go into our journey, into our healing, into our truth, into our knowing. There is a deeper meaning to what is happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what is really going on. Take a moment to just pause and breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you are feeling about your current situation. Exactly. So for some of you guys, like with Saturn retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and just in general, for some of you guys, it's like you really need to deep dive and really reflect and really take a look at some things here. I'm hearing stop blaming the world, stop blaming other people, stop blaming your parents, stop blaming your ex, stop blaming your boss. Stop blaming the cheaters, the liars, and the betrayers, and the deceivers. Right? Dive deep. Oh my God, the whales and the dolphins. Safe and surrounded by love. And we even have that other card of protection. Yeah, there's definitely some very like beautiful like twin flame or soulmate energy here. But this is also confirmation of the Lionsgate Sirius, the Sirius 8-8 portal workshop. Like this right here is Sirius is where they came from. And where for a lot of you guys came from. Your soul, for some of you guys, your soul may have originated from the Sirius star, you know? So I don't know, but there's the Sirian star seeds are a different energy for sure. I don't know. It's just, it is. So you're safe and you're surrounded by love, my love. Okay? Keep your heart open and know that you are being protected. Listen to what you know to be true and allow yourself to see and understand what is going on all around you. Okay? All right, and then just because I'm nosy, real fast, the romance angel. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out for the last hour. I had no idea what was gonna come through. Clearly you could see, it was just like, right? But now I'm gonna go record Capricorn's reading, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it after Capricorn. I just do them intuitively, so like as I get the call. So yesterday I did Leo. Happy birthday, my beautiful Leos, and Pisces and Virgo. And then, yeah, so today I'm gonna do Capricorn, and I don't know. And then I feel like I'm gonna be recording some readings for you guys. We'll just say that. Okay, religious factors. Okay, so right now, so for me, this card right here is like spiritual awakening. It's like, oh, the angels are singing, the light is all around you, the crown chakra is activated, fully lit up, like you're like on another level when this card comes out. Okay, so for me, speaking in terms of love, it says, and we just talked about religion, etc., your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. You have crushed the programming in many ways, and now when it comes to love, it's all about your spiritual path. And meaning, like, is it aligned with my heart and soul? You know, you're not looking for partners like anymore. You're allowing things to happen. You trust in the divine plan. You know, you're not forcing things or trying to control things, or like on every single dating app and website out there. Like, you know what I mean? And what this means for me is like, you like attracts like. So you are here. You're literally like this person in this photo, man or woman. You're surrounded by love and light. You're surrounded by like these, I mean, and it's also just like your aura, like just so light, strong, beautiful, right? But it's also showing me that there's someone else that is going to match this. Okay, so someone else who's also on the spiritual path. And then bottom of the deck is a past life relationship. So this is like past life soulmates, you know, souls that have like past life recognition when they meet. It's like, oh my gosh, you feel so, it just feels like home. It feels like this is it. This is, you know, and that's literally it. You've known each other before. For some of you guys, this is about going through spiritual awakening, and maybe someone from the past comes back in, or you guys, you know, now it's alignment for you. Whereas before, it wasn't meant to happen before for whatever reason, right? Probably because you had an awakening and healing to do, etc. A lot of passionate energy. I think August is going to be a big month of a lot of truth coming out, a lot of things being revealed, society, globally, and individually. But like this, I think that there's just, yeah, I see it very clearly. And you guys know, you know, I've been saying that Lionsgate of 2025, I've been saying this since like Lionsgate last year, 2024. I've been saying 2025 is going to be like next level Lionsgate. And now we're here, we're approaching it. It's in like what, like another like week and a half or something. You guys, I'm telling you, in July, same thing. And you guys have been witnessing it, you've been feeling it, you've been seeing it. So there it is. Again, prophecy being fulfilled. Yes, this is your soulmate. Yeah, this is a past life soulmate. Like I said, it could be a twin soul. You know what I mean? Someone that, you know, you met prior, you know, before, and it catalyzed an awakening. Or, you know, like me, when my twin flame, when he found me in the physical, and we reunited in the physical, it was, you know, it was a powerful awakening for me. I was already on my awakening, but that was a catalytic awakening. I met him, and literally, like 5 months later from meeting him is when I started my YouTube channel. Within 5 months, all of my, everything just turned, like with him, it just turned on instantly. And that's one of the big things with twin flames. It's different. It's a different kind of jolt and awakening than like an awakening because of grief or loss, or an awakening because of a karmic abusive relationship that, like, you know, popped you into an alignment, or it cracked you open through so much pain. The twin flame is very different. It's a catalytic awakening, a catalytic heart awakening. It's instantaneous, it's huge, but it also, it's an awakening from love. It's an awakening from coming face to face with your absolute, you know, with you in another body, basically. So it's an overwhelming feeling of love, and it's huge. So it's not like a pain awakening, it's like a love awakening. An activation. But then you, of course, go into your separation phase, which is the awakening and the healing journey, right? Like, you know, and I don't remember what I was saying that, but anyways, my point is that because I feel like for a lot of you guys tuning in, me being a twin flame, if you are new here, I attract a lot of twin souls and ancient soulmates and souls anyways, because like attracts like, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. But that's, yeah, so I think for some of you guys, like it's like a divine counterpart who also has had they're going through a big awakening. We'll just say that. It hit them fast and hard. I don't know what was all the things about, but I can tell you that whoever that is, they're seeing all the things clearly, okay? So I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day. Sorry for the long message, but sorry, not sorry. This is an incredible message. Super insightful, super confirming, very helpful for whoever this is for. I love you guys. Thank you, mi amors, for your loving support and for being a part of my soul familia as well. Have a gorgeous day.